Here is our outline. We will talk about variables, memory, declaration, initialization, assignment, and finally, we will print the value of a variable. So let's get started. What is a variable? A variable is used to store values in our computer's memory. So our computer has a memory. And to store values in this memory, we need to reserve some space. And this is done using a variable. Also, each variable has a specific type. And it is called a variable because the value inside it can change. Now let's have a look at the computer's memory. You can imagine that a variable is like a box in the computer's memory. So look at this table over here. Consider that this table is the memory of our computer, alright? So it is divided to boxes as you can see. Now in this box over here, we have some data, which is the number 5.7. And also here we have a string, and here we have a number 23. So these three boxes are variables, alright? They are containers in our memory where we can store some data. Now let me tell you this. Each variable has an address. So for example, suppose that 100 is the address of this variable, and 150 is the address of this one, and 200 is the address of this one. All I want you to know is that each variable has a unique address in the memory, and this address specifies where this variable is located, alright? Now let's talk about declaration. So what is declaration? It is basically allocating some space inside our memory. So as we said before, to store some data in the memory, we have to reserve some space. And this is called allocation. So declaration is allocating some space in the memory. So to allocate some space in our memory, we declare a variable, alright? We do it like this. We put the type of the variable, and then we leave a space, and then we put the name of the variable. And the name of the variable is optional. It can be anything, alright? And as you can see, we have a semicolon over here. So declaring a variable is a statement in Java. Now, the type of the variable should be compatible with the data inside it. So for example, to store a string inside the variable's type should be also a string, alright? So have a look over here. I'm declaring a variable called my name and its type is a string. Note that I'm using the camel case convention in order to give a name to this variable. And the type of this variable is a string. So my name is a variable and I will be able to store a string inside it. And of course, we will end this with a semicolon. So remember, we are declaring a variable called my name and it can store a string. Now what if we want to declare multiple variables of the same type? Then we can do it like this. We can put the type and then we leave a space. Then we put the name of the first variable. And after that we put a comma and then we put the name of the second variable. And if you want to make another variable, you just put a comma and put the name of the third variable, and so on. And when you are finished, you end the statement with a semicolon. So let's see this example. I'm declaring variables of type string. So we have string over here, and then I leave a space, and this is the first variable. It is called my name. And after that, I put a comma, and this is the second variable. It is called my job. So my name and my job are two variables that can store a string. Okay? And finally, note that a variable must be declared before it can be used. So we cannot use a variable without declaring it. And this is straightforward, because in order to store some data in our computer's memory, we have to allocate some space. So this means that we have to declare a variable, alright? Now let's see how we can put some data in a variable. So we will talk about assignment. So it is used to store or to put a value inside a variable, alright? So we can assign a value to a variable by using the assignment operator, which is the equal sign. We do it like this. We put the variable name, and then we put the equal sign, and then we put the expression, alright? So let's see this example. We are saying that the variable that is called my job will be equal to this string over here. And we are terminating the statement with a semicolon, alright? So the string programmer will be stored inside the variable my job, okay? And to do that, we are using the assignment operator, which is the equal sign. Now, you might be asking, what is an expression? Simply, an expression is anything that produces or gives a value, alright? So for example, 1 plus 3 is an expression. And also, 4 multiplied by 2 is an expression. Because 1 plus 3 produces a value, which is 4. And also 4 multiplied by 2 produces a value, which is 8. And also, this string over here is an expression. It actually produces a value, which is this string itself, alright? So now let's talk about initialization. It is basically assigning a value to a variable when declaring it. So let's see some examples. Have a look at this statement over here. I'm declaring a variable called myJob of type string, and immediately I'm assigning this variable to be equal to this string over here. And also, this is a statement, so we will end it with a semicolon. So this over here is called initialization. So it is assigning a value to the variable in the same time that we are declaring it, alright? So this statement over here is equivalent to the following. First of all, we will declare the variable myJob of type string. And after that, we will assign to the variable myJob the value programmer, okay? So now let me tell you this. Do not redefine variables. So consider the following code. We have this main method, and inside it, we have these three statements. In the first statement, we are declaring a variable of type string, and it is called myJob, alright? So this is okay. On the second statement, we are declaring another variable, which is also called myJob, and it is of type string. So basically, we are redeclaring the same variable. So this is not okay, and it will give us an error, alright? Now let's have a look at this statement. Suppose that you want to assign a value to the variable myJob. You have to be careful not to define the variable again. So in this statement, I'm redefining the variable because I'm saying string myJob is equal to programmer. So this is also not okay. So I want you to be careful about 2 points. The first one is that each variable has a unique name. So for example, in the second statement, if we used another name over here, this will be okay. What's important is that each variable must have a unique name. Also, when assigning a value to a variable, do not define it again. So in the third statement, if we didn't put the string keyword over here, everything will be okay. And we will be able to store the programmer string inside the variable myJob, alright? Now let me tell you this. Always initialize your variables. This will give you less errors and less code and more readable code. Okay? Now let's see how we can print the value of a variable. We are going to use the print or println method. So have a look at this code over here. We have a main class and inside it we have a main method. In the first statement, we are initializing a variable called myJob. It is of type string and we are assigning it to be equal to the string programmer, alright? So after this statement is executed, we will have a box inside our computer's memory that contains the value programmer, alright? And the name of this box will be myJob. So in order to print the value of this variable, all we have to do is to use its name. So over here we are calling the method println and we are giving the name of the variable as a parameter. So what will happen exactly? Java will look for a variable that is called myJob. And yes, it was declared over here. And remember that in order to use variables, we have to declare them. So it is important to declare this variable before we are printing it, okay? So after that, the println method is going to print the value of this variable, which is in this case, the string programmer, alright? So have a look over here. I compiled the program and then I run it, and here is the output. We can see the string programmer printed, okay?